in, so you can lean that microphone thumb towards you a little bit more. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, Ms. Forte, where are you originally from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, born and raised.
And do you have any children?
I have 4, 3 girls and 1 boy.
And your one boy, what's his name?
LaQuentin Forte,
And how old is LeQuentin?
31.
Now, back in August of 2022, what area were you staying at then?
Decatur.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I've always stayed in Decatur, but just different parts.
And so back in Decatur in 2022, who stayed with you then?
LaQuentin.
And did you have anybody else staying at the house with you?
No.
And LeQuentin, did he have any friends?
Yes,
And did you know any of his friends?
all of them.
All of them.
We're very close.
Did you know a Cordarra Stewart or Cordarra Tuitt or CT?
Well, I've never known him by that, but now I know him as Cordarra Stewart, but I've always called him CT.
Are they calling him Cordarius Stewart? Chat, Fulton County and the names, they make me feel so much better when I get names wrong. It's just, I don't mean to get names wrong. But to see them get names wrong so often in so many ways blows my mind.
And does CT come to your home in Decatur?
Yes,
How often?
almost daily, but not for that long, for probably about a year.
And do you know how long him and LeQuentin had been friends back in 2022 and that?
They had been friends like a year and a half. They hadn't been friends that long.
And what did CT call you?
All of his friends called me Mom.
Mom. Now, I want to turn your attention specifically to August 18th of 2022. Did you get a visit from the police on that day?
Yes, I did.
Okay, tell me about that.
Well, initially when I heard about the incident, I didn't know really what was going on. I just know that I saw my son on the news or whatever. So when they came, I was very happy to see him. I welcomed them and I told them I was waiting on them to come see me so I could see what was going on from them, from their point of view.
Them being the Atlanta Police Department?
Correct.
Now, you said you had heard about an incident.
On the news.
Okay. And that incident being,
My son, I just saw my son on the news.
and did you know anything about what had occurred on that day at all?
Yes,
Tell me about that.
I just knew that somebody was
Heard.
had got shot and my son was there.
They prepped her.
Now,
She was
did the
actually
police
prepped.
come to your home on August 18th, 2022?
I'm not exactly sure the date, but if that's the date, they came.
Okay. And what do you tell them at that?
I tell them that I wanted to know what was happening. I was happy that they was there because I really want to know what really happened because I've talked to my son and I've talked to CT is who I know him by, and I just want to know what they knew, what was going on.
And the man you know at CTV, if you could take a look around the courtroom, do you see him in the courtroom today?
Yes,
Can you describe what he's wearing and where he is sitting?
he's wearing a black shirt, glasses. He's sitting next to, I guess that's his lawyer.
And is that to your left or right?
To my right, but your left.
Not our left, right reflections. Identify who left there.
She has.
Now, Ms. Forte, had you had a conversation with CT
Well,
after the incident?
a couple of times he was calling people, other friends of my son's, and they were talking to him or whatever. So I would tell them to give me the number so I can talk to him. And he kept changing numbers so much, like he would just keep getting different text numbers, I guess. And I got one of them and I called and he called back.
And what did he say when he called back?
I just said, why don't you, what's going on? Why don't you turn yourself in? Because I now know that, you know, what happened or whatever. And he was like, Ma, I really didn't do nothing or something to that nature. I had to do it because,
So we're going to pause here. So to me, it seems like they actually prepped her. I know Fulton County doesn't typically seem to prep their witnesses, but she seems to be aware when she's about to say what somebody said that she should pause and just say she learned, she knew without saying what somebody said. So I think she was actually prepped, surprisingly. And she caught herself here saying what Tuitt was saying, but she actually could say what Tuitt was saying because it's, you know, party opponent. So I'm wondering if, and that would have been helpful for Tuitt. So I wanted to pause because I don't think she's trying to hold back from saying something that could be helpful to Tuitt, that he's saying contemporaneously, you know, I didn't do it, something that would help support the self-defense argument. But she seems to be withdrawing because she thinks she was told she couldn't say what other people said. And maybe Nicole, when she gets up, will go back and revisit this. You know, he said early on he was consistent. He told you these things. So she was prepped, and she's taking it seriously.
he had a gun. I'm not sure what he said about that. And I was like, well, that should be self-defense. And he was like, but I shot him so many times, however many times. And I was like, oh shit.
So initially you thought
It was just one time.
it was one time. And in your conversation, when you found out it was multiple times, that information came.
Yes,
CT?
yes.
Now, did CT say anything about, whether or not he had, what he planned to do next?
He said he was going to turn himself in, but he kept saying that on different occasions. He didn't just tell me that, he was telling a lot of people that he was. And then, oh, I'll let you ask me.
Go ahead.
And then it became a point where he was like, he wasn't. Him and my son had got into a different place because my son was upset because the victim's family was upset with my son posting him on Instagram because they thought my son did it. And then he was spreading the paperwork online, letting everybody know that my son was snitching. So it was just a lot that me and my son was going through. And my son was just like, I can't go through this for you. You know, you need to just turn yourself in.
Now, you said at some point it changed where CT had originally said, I'm gonna turn myself in, and then when that friction came between him and your son, it changed.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And then did he say he had different plans for how to react if he was caught or if he had to?
Well, I was told I can't say he say, she say, so he didn't tell me, but I did hear some things he was saying.
You didn't hear yourself in your house, but through the grapevine.
So he was talking to some people in my house, but he wasn't talking to me.
And do you remember telling the detectives what he said to you in regards to how his plans had changed?
Can I say it?
I object to hearsay. I think a witness understands the line and understands that whatever is being said isn't said directly to her.
So you should go ahead and answer a question. Ms. Jones-Connor is going to ask it. If I think it's inappropriate, I could always interject. And more importantly, Ms. Fagan will object if she thinks something's happening. You will not be in trouble because you're answering a question. So I don't want you to worry about that. If
Okay.
Ms. Jones-Connor said, what did CT say? You need to start answering that question. And if Ms. Fagan thinks you shouldn't because it's not appropriate, she'll object. And all I ask you to do is to stop if you hear someone say object.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, you guys keep having your conversation and Ms. Fagan will let everyone know if she thinks it should stop.
Okay.
I'm telling you, she's taking her prep super seriously. And I keep emphasizing that because it's just so unusual to see a prepped witness in a Fulton County trial.
So
Why don't you ask a question again so we're clear on the record what it is she's answering?
For the record, do you recall what you told police CT said in regards to what he was going to do when he was caught?
He was just like, he was gonna harm himself. He was gonna unalive himself.
You remember him saying something about shooting it out?
I think somebody said that.
What did you say?
So, you can talk about what you recall CT saying.
Okay.
Anyone else saying it, then we're gonna get more objections and I'll sustain them. But if you
Okay.
recall CT saying it, you're free to talk about it, whether he said it to you or someone else. If it's something you heard him say, that's something Ms. Jones-Connor can ask you about.
Your Honor, can I say something to you?
Why don't you just keep answering her questions?
Okay.
And then if we need to take a break, we'll do that.
Okay.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it so badly.
Did you hear CT say that? Yes or
No.
no? Now, did CT ever come back to your home after that day?
No.
Did LaQuinton ever come back to your home after that?
No.
At some point during your conversation with the Atlanta Police Department, do you reach out to either CT or LaQuinton?
LaQuinton.
And were you able to get LaQuinton on the phone?
Yes, I mean, they were there to talk to me, and they really were just trying to get me to identify my son. But I volunteered to call him because I wanted him to tell what really happened, because it was too much. It was too much going on. It was a terrifying time for me and him. So I just wanted to just clear everything up right then and there.
Terrifying
Because of the threats on the internet and being posted by all these different people and the family thinking that he did it. We arguing with them, the girls and the family online, and it was a lot. And I understand the family. I understood it because if it was my son, I wouldn't have known. I would have understood it. But it was just not his fight. It was not his. It wasn't for him. And I was trying to get that part cleared up.
And when LaQuinton picked up the phone while you were with the detective, did he tell them about what he remembered from that day?
Yes, I immediately called him and I told him, I said, LaQuincy, now your life is on the line. I said, now you know all this stuff that's going on the internet and around us. You need to tell these people what they need to know. I understand how snitching is and all of this and that. I said, but it's me that's involved now. And if you love me, you'll tell them what happened. You're going to have to just tell them what happened so we can get our lives back together. And so he told them everything that he knew.
And when it came to what LaQuinton shared when you were there with the police, did you share who shot the victim?
I don't, yes, I think so.
And who was that?
CT.
And the victim in this case, did you know him at all?
Yes.
How long did you know the victim?
Like I said, he had been friends with my son like a little over a year, but I was hearing about him and, whatever. I probably knew him for a while, but he wasn't hanging with my son like that.
So he was hanging with LaQuinton and CT?
Oh, wait a minute.
The victim.
Oh, I'm sorry. I never knew the victim. I'm sorry. I never knew the victim. I'm sorry.
And so we were just talking, you were referring to CT.
Right.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. And after everything happened, did you ever have to make any changes?
Yes, of course. Of course, I moved because I knew he knew where I lived, and I knew the threats and stuff were coming because of the snitching allegations, and and then people thinking that my son did it, and then the person I was told, I don't know if that's he said or whatever, but she told that.
Don't tell me what anyone.
Oh, okay. Well, I moved because it were allegations, and I just wanted us to be safe, so I moved just to
Another consistent theme with Fulton County trials is, and this, I'm not really seeing this all the way where I want to go with it in relation to another case, but we have these scenarios where the police are lollygagging and people are threatening each other. We're not getting the details on these threats, but I can kind of imagine they weren't harmless and filled with butterflies, this Facebook banter, this social media banter. And APD's not going to do anything to protect these families. APD's not going to do anything to sort out and clarify the record. The only time APD and investigators like Marissa Viverito seem to want to get involved is in a way that they can put additional targets on people's backs, to the point where somebody ends up getting arrested because they cross the line and actually do something. And the biggest example I can think of that is with the YSL trial, when we're talking about the Waters Roadhouse. All of that, they knew. We had like 3 different investigators testify that they knew that in those days between Darius Ford and McMiller being shot and killed, and then another shooting, and it was back and forth for a few days, they knew, and we got little hints here and there that the investigators were going and hinting that it was your ops that did this. Well, now we think the ops did this. We've got to go get our get back. They go, another shooting happens. Who sowed that seed? So here, this is just another example, and I don't think it's going as far, where the information is being prompted by Fulton County investigators, but they just don't do anything to protect these individuals. They don't do anything to care if somebody's making threats online. And here you have a mom that just seems like she's, of course, trying to look out for her son first and foremost, but she has sympathy for all involved. She wants people to just, not just tell the truth because it'll hopefully make the threats against her family go away, but because in her mind, that's the right thing to do if it was self-defense. And nobody's protecting her. And I really feel like this factual lie, the only thing Viverito's an expert in is stalking. And I mean, it's self-professed, right? Because she puts in her own testimony, her Daubert hearing, hang out and observe the citizens, the inhabitants in their natural habitat. Like, that is the language of someone that stalks people. And I'm going to pull something up, pin that, because I only noticed it the other day. But it relates to Quintavis Greer, right from Viverito's Daubert hearing.
Keep us safe.
How many times did you move?
I moved one more time after that, because some people had found out where we live. And nobody ever came to my house or anything like that, but it was just for me to be feeling safe in my own home.
And the reason that you felt unsafe, was it in regards to this situation?
Sure, of course.
Now, when the detectives came, did they show you any photos where you saw either your son or CT?
Yes.
In just a moment, I'm going to show you what has been previously entered in the evidence of States Exhibits 98 through 100. We'll actually start at state 4.
All right, so while they're loading that, I'm going to pull this up. It's kind of blurry on screen. But this is from the second day of Marissa Viverito's Daubert hearing, when she was getting qualified as an expert in gangs and lyrics and, YFN versus YSL and Operation Summer Heat, I think was the name, around 2021. And question and answer, she's being asked, okay, now you stated that you had daily, approximately, I think you said daily exposure to gang members, alliances, colors, territories, things like that. Do you remember giving that type of testimony? Correct. That's Viverito. Is that similar to what you're saying now? You're listening to jail calls? I don't want to limit you. Answer, no, it's jail calls, it's phone dumps, it's surveillance video. Like I said, there's a camera out on Cleveland Avenue. It was part of Mr. Greer's probation revocation. I kind of utilize everything that's available to us. And I focused on what's below. We're going to read that too. But it never stuck out to me. We know that she was watching people on Cleveland Avenue. We heard about that with the Christian Eppinger situation, with the, was it Officer Rogers, the attempted murder charge for the officer after the officer was pursuing Eppinger. But I never noticed the specific call out that she mentions that a camera on Cleveland Avenue was part of Mr. Greer's probation revocation. And I want you guys to just hold on to that piece of information. And then she says, I kind of utilize everything that's available to us. We might go out actually and sit on Cleveland Avenue and observe what's going on unbeknownst to the people operating out there. So in some form or fashion, I'm interacting with somebody almost daily. And question, or observing somebody is what you're saying. A, observing, yeah. Q, interacting would be like what we're doing now. Answer, okay, observing or encountering gang members in some form or fashion, whether it be jail calls, reviewing phone extractions, observing them in their natural habitat out there on Cleveland Avenue, looking at the graffiti that is now out there on the park. So that is the infamous Marissa Viverito. She's probably going to think this stream is a direct threat. So, with that being said, that is the inspiration for my prior tangent. And again, it just goes to, they go through these lengths to do all that, but they don't do anything to protect people. They'll tell you that they're being nosy because they want to prevent these big, bad, heinous crimes. But I swear they're out there causing it. Because it gives them something to write up in a report and make it easier for them to put people back in custody. So, and then nobody's allowed to protect themselves because none of them are supposed to have guns once they have a felony conviction. So, not a really good cycle. It was the other family, Angela. So, the family of Smoke that was going back and forth on social media. And again, she says she understands, like she understands where they're coming from.
Just a moment.
If you press the button that says stay muted, that'll go away. There you go. Thank you.
Now, do you recognize the individual in States 94?
Yes.
Who is that?
That's CT.
On to States 95,
Yes, CT.
States 96. I don't know if you recognize that person.
No.
States 98.
I can't see. 98.
I mean, he is wearing a mask, but that's your son.
States 86.
No, I don't recognize him. Oh, yeah, I see his shoes. That's my son.
And then States 85, you recognize that individual?
Yes.
I'm so sorry, I should have made it full screen, but my computer is having a slow start this week. And Ms. Forte, on the day of the incident, the shooting, were you anywhere near the Parkside Apartments?
No.
And, at any point, did anybody promise you anything or tell you what to say?
No, I didn't know anybody that the victim knew. I
we're
never knew
wrapping
them. I never be on that side of town.
I don't have any further questions. Thank you, Ms. Forte.
You're welcome.
Ms. Fagan, questions for Ms. Forte?
Yes, Your Honor, is the court able to manually disconnect my audio? If not.
I mean, it sounds like me going over there with pliers, but let me look. You're
I got it.
yeah, you're muted. I know that much.
Good morning, Ms. Forte.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay. Now Now, you see your son on the news, right, and you're concerned, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You speak to him, you make sure he's okay, right?
Yes.
You're getting information from Instagram and from the news, right?
Well, not at the moment, not Instagram, but
Okay.
just from the news.
Okay, so after the news, though, that's when, people started posting pictures of your son.
Correct.
Thinking your son had something.
Yeah, they was getting the photo from there.
And then he needed to clear his name from that as well, because he didn't have any involvement in that
Correct.
whole shooting. Now, when you spoke with my client, he told you that it was self-defense, right?
Yeah, he did.
When you, were present when your son was speaking with the police, was that on speakerphone?
I think so.
Okay, and so when you listened to your son telling the police what happened, he indicated that the gentleman that was shot was the aggressive one, correct?
I don't remember that. I'm sorry.
Do you recall him saying, well, do you know if he told the police that he started it?
I don't want to say yes or no because I don't remember that.
Do you recall him saying that he tried to persuade the men not to argue because the police were outside?
He tried to persuade TC to come away from there. He kept telling TC, let's go.
Because there was police outside, right?
Because of the situation, period. He was just like, it was senseless.
So if you missed yesterday, LaQuinton Forte was on the stand yesterday, and LaQuinton said that he did say these things, and that he did tell the police these things consistently, and that he told them that they were crazy for arguing with police right outside. So maybe she doesn't genuinely remember, whatever, but I think this is a credibility issue for her, one way or another. But the jury got to hear LaQuinton Forte say it himself yesterday.
He told the police that he observed the man have a firearm that he initially had in his pocket and moved to his waistband, correct?
Ma'am, I don't remember that.
Interesting. He had the firearm, so that's more clear that he saw the firearm in his hand, moving to waistband. LaQuinton did not want to say it was in hand, even though you kind of need to put it in your hand to move it.
Has anyone showed you the surveillance in this footage? I am on, I think it's State's Exhibit 5. State's Exhibit 5. Has anyone shown you the surveillance in the footage?
I'm not sure. I would have to look at it to see.
Have you seen the footage of a hallway?
When TC was standing in the hallway, that's what I saw.
Okay, so you saw the screenshot.
Yes.
The video, is there a video on your screen before you?
Yes, it's on pause.
And that video, how long does it say that video is?
6:26.
I'm playing State's Exhibit 5.
Do you have a specific, State's Exhibit 5, I recall, has many, is this D5, D91? You pointed out there were a bunch of clips.
Yes, Your Honor.
Second number out for the record, it's labeled shooting, the actual shooting is what it's called.
Okay, this clip,
It's what it's called, the shooting.
okay.
I have it labeled as 2023-06-14-12-45-43.
Fulton
Okay.
County with their descriptive naming.
Video with many names.
Now you see that the video is moving because of the fan, correct?
Correct.
Now, at the very end of the video, do you see two small figures? Two little black dots.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
They do go up the stairs. Wow. This is something the state has been trying to act like didn't happen. Look at their little heads below,
And you see the
presumably
two
the
black
stairs.
dots moving.
Yes.
You see the fan still moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, for the record.
Yes.
And you saw that this entirety of the video was 6 minutes and 26 seconds initially, right?
Correct.
So that looks like a lighter colored shirt. Whoever's, maybe not. It got darker in that frame. It was just blared out, exposed out.
You saw one individual on the left go up a stair, correct?
Correct.
Saw the individual on the right go up the step, correct?
Yes.
Sorry. Oops, sorry, I just restarted it. Did you see that was your son that walked through?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Oh, that was two other individuals. I'd like you to keep watching. Do you see your son behind those two?
Not yet. Yeah, I see him standing on the top, coming up now.
Not involved in whatever's going on the stairs.
Correct.
And at this point, you might not be able to tell. Can you tell which one CT? By chance? Maybe not yet.
Now I can.
Okay, which one was CT? The one on-
CT's in the middle.
Okay, when they were on the stairs, was he the one on the left or the right?
Oh, I can't.
Okay, no problem. Now you saw your son put his bag on the apartment door, right?
Yes.
And so now we are about 3 minutes into whatever started on the stairs and now it's come up the stairs,
Okay.
right?
Correct.
This is really important to me. We heard about you get the bag from the door, but now that I'm processing it a bit more, I think it's really a critical detail for Tuitt that his friend Forte puts the bag on this door because it's giving us the visual of where they were staying, why they were at this building. So they were down the stairs, they come up the stairs. And to me, it seems like Forte was the one that was kind of coming up the stairs. If that was the lighter colored t-shirt, I don't know if it was just the glare of the sunlight. It is really hard to tell in any given frame. But it seems like Forte was the first one coming up the stairs. He looked like he was chin to chin almost, like just inches away, but both had their chins up with another individual. And we could only see the two heads. But then he goes and puts a bag there. This is where they stay. This is not where Smoke stays. Smoke came around this way, and we heard tons of testimony about how this is not the way that you would go if you're just trying to enter and leave the building. You wouldn't be walking to this part of the hall from where Smoke was staying with Raquel James. So putting that bag there shows that this is where these two individuals, one is on trial, one is the friend of the defendant, and then the victim's over here with no shirt following them up the stairs. I think that's very helpful for a self-defense argument. Oh, there. Is that the frame?
From your son's body language, can you tell if he's uncomfortable?
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation.
It's her son, I'll allow it.
What?
Yes, I think he's getting agitated.
Okay. And he told you that the fight was something stupid, right?
It was something that could be prevented.
That, he told, well, do you now recall him telling the police that this gentleman produced a firearm? Do you recall that?
This wouldn't make me recall the phone call. I
Okay.
mean, I'm 53. I look a little younger than I am. I'm 53 years old. So I really don't remember a lot. I want to tell you guys everything I can because I want to be honest about this because I care about CT too. You know what I mean? But I just don't remember that part being said.
That's fine, that's fine. Now.
They're gonna
do you
redirect on
recall
that.
maybe he didn't tell you, okay? My question is, did he ever tell you that there was an argument, a space in between the argument, that the man comes back after he goes and gets a gun?
I'm gonna object at this point to hearsay, Your Honor. I think
Just so I'm following the question, you, Ms. Fagan, are asking Ms. Forte, did your son, not your client, but did her son, Mr. Forte, say X, Y, and Z?
Right, well, I'm specifically talking about when she called him to speak with the police. when she
Okay,
said-
but you're asking her, did your son say? So how is that not hearsay?
Well, I guess my argument would be that the gentleman would testified yesterday, so I would say now I'm going in inconsistent statements.
But the question you asked, if you got the yes answer, would not be inconsistent with what yesterday's testimony was. So
Correct.
next question.
So do you know if the police had recorded when they were speaking with you or your son?
I didn't know at the time, but I know now that it was
Oh.
recorded.
Oh,
Okay, and have you had an opportunity to listen to that?
I think so.
oh, oh.
Thank you, ma'am.
Do you have any redirect?
no, Your Honor.
Okay, any questions from the jurors?
We're getting a detective today, aren't we?
Thank you. Ms. Forte, you mentioned that you had been receiving threats after all this unfolded and that your son was as well.
Mhm.
Were the threats coming from the family of the deceased?
Both. They were coming from both,
When you say both, what's number two?
like people that he knew.
He meaning,
CT.
okay, so not necessarily CT's mouth, but you would say CT's people and then the deceased's.
Correct.
Okay. Ms. Jones-Connor, any follow-up based on that?
Can I also say something?
Oh,
Oh,
unless a lawyer asks you about it, or I do.
Just briefly, Ms. Forte, do you know of threats that your son received from CT?
Objection to hearsay.
She either knows or she doesn't.
But if she knows because her son told her, then that would be hearsay. So if you want to say, did CT ever tell you that he threatened your son? You can ask that, but.
He's gonna try to answer this, watch.
Let me ask it a different way. Ms. Forte, did you ever observe threats that were from CT to your son?
I wouldn't say exactly from him because
If they weren't exactly from him, let's move to a different space.
can I tell you? Oh,
I'm sorry. Was there ever a time, Ms. Forte, where CT called your son and he had him on speakerphone, LaQuentin had him on speakerphone?
I don't know if he had him on speakerphone,
That's
but
it.
that
Move
that
on.
would be hearsay too because he was telling me what he was saying.
So you didn't hear it yourself?
No.
Okay. I don't have any questions.
All right, Ms. Fagan, any other questions for Ms. Forte?
No, no, thank you.
All right, Ms. Forte, thank you for your time. I
Okay.
appreciate you being here.
All right.
You look much younger than your age.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, the jury says, what is it that you
Next
want to tell us?
We're gonna call crime scene tech Briscoe.
All right, so we get the crime scene tech. I think we're gonna get some interview footage, maybe with the lead detective. That's Raquella. Not Raquel and not Roxy. Hopefully that'll be today. Again, tomorrow's going to be a half day for the court, you guys. Court's supposed to start at 12:30 Eastern time tomorrow. And, while they're doing this, I think it's important to my personal read on what we have Miss Alameda Forte saying on the stand when she's discussing the details. She's saying, when I spoke with CT, the defendant, he was worried. He was saying, if he gets arrested, he's going to self-harm. And she says that, she told him it was, what do you mean? Why are you worried? You should tell them it was self-defense. Those are the details. When she was speaking on the stand during direct examination, those are the details that she gave. She did talk about threats, but when she was giving the details during direct examination about those threats, she largely focused on it being the family members of Smoke. And it seemed like it was women family members of Smoke lashing out at her, coming at her on social media, or posting generally about LaQuinton Forte. Now we get that question from the jury, and all of a sudden she says, both. It was coming from both. It wasn't just the family of the deceased. Well, was it CT directly? No, I can't say that it was directly from CT. And then she's trying to get in, and the jury can maybe infer, we didn't get an answer, but maybe the jury's sitting there thinking, well, it seems like she wants to say that CT was threatening her son. But if I take all that information together, my conclusion is they were probably arguing with each other about whether or not to go to the police. And that doesn't necessarily take away the self-defense element. You could, it could be clear as day that you were justified in killing somebody, but you're still at risk for facing prosecution for a justifiable use of force. So to me, someone being worried about getting in trouble is just a valid part of reality. But the state thinks that the only pathway from that would be consciousness of guilt because it wasn't justified. And I'm not on the same page with the state there. However, I'm curious if the jury is on that page. So